In this exercise, we'll practice determining the explanatory and response variables for each of the research questions. The first question is that researchers collected data to examine the relationship between pollutants and preterm births in Southern California. Data were collected on 143,196 births to see whether the baby was born prematurely and the air pollution exposure to the mother during gestation. Our two variables are here, whether the baby was born prematurely and air pollution exposure to the mother during gestation. So our response variable is going to be whether the baby was born prematurely and notice that they would respond to that with either a yes or a no. This is a categorical variable. And the explanatory variable is air pollution exposure to the mother during gestation. That one, it's not super clear from the problem statement how they're measuring it. It could be a simple categorical, yes, they were exposed, no, they weren't exposed. Or perhaps they have some kind of a scale that's a quantitative scale that they're using for measuring them. The second question says, in a study about the effect of antibiotic treatment for acute sinusitis, participants were either given a 10-day course of amoxicillin or a placebo. At the end of the 10 days, they were asked whether they experienced improvement in their symptoms. So look for the variables. We have this variable, whether they had amoxicillin or placebo given as their treatment. And then we have the response variable, whether they experienced improvement of their symptoms. So our response variable is improvement in acute sinusitis symptoms. And they would respond to that with a yes or no. And then our explanatory variable was the type of treatment given. In this case, it was either the 10-day course of amoxicillin or it was the placebo. So there's a categorical variable. The third one says a study of 3,143 counties in the United States recorded the percent of residents who had a bachelor's degree and the per capita income in each county. Researchers wondered if a higher proportion of residents with bachelor's degrees led to a higher per capita incomes. So look at the data that they recorded to find your variables. The first is the percent of residents who had a bachelor's degree. So they would have written that down for each county. And then the second thing they wrote down for each county was the per capita income, which just means income per individual in the county. So which one's our explanatory variable and which one's our response variable? Our last sentence helps us see that. They wondered if a higher proportion of residents with a bachelor's degree led to higher per capita incomes. So they're viewing per capita income as a response variable. And they're wondering about the relationship between that and the explanatory variable, which was percentage of residents who had a bachelor's degree. Notice that both of these are quantitative variables.